So you heard the Professor Raymond Achuguba. He's the Dean of the University of Ghana Law School. They're addressing a forum here in Accra on the matter involving the continuous detention of social activist Oliver Barker-Vormawor. Let's return to one of our biggest stories this afternoon. And 17 Ghanaian students out of the over 1,000 in Ukraine have touched down at the Kotoka International Airport. They are the first batch of Ghanaians evacuated from Ukraine following the invasion of a country by Russia. 16 of them came via Qatar Airways, and the other one was on Turkish Airlines. The Ministry for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration has indicated that over 220 of the citizens who were in Ukraine before the crisis will soon return to Ghana. My colleague, Martin Esidu Date, he is our Foreign Affairs correspondent, is joining me. Martin, tell us about these 17 individuals and the condition under which they were before they touched down.
Well, thank you, Komla, and good afternoon to you and our viewers. I think when they were coming in, they were still in the clothing that they were in when they left Ukraine. So some of them were still in their hats and then bomber jackets, you know, in the winter clothing, more or less. And very somber, very quiet. They all came in, sat down quietly. They were not even interacting with each other, certainly because of the cameras and the media that had gathered there. Okay. I'm not sure they were expecting that, but then their demeanor and body language were that of you know, people who had seen near-death experiences and were just very calm about it.
Okay, when they came You've been interacting with some of them, even including their parents who were there. Tell us exactly what they've been telling you.
First, they expressed joy, at least that they were safe. The parents were very happy that they could see their wards. It is the difficulty for some of the students, were the fact that their colleagues are still in Ukraine. There isn't any clarity as to when exactly they will be evacuated, but then they were only hopeful that government can, you know, expedite the processes of getting them out of Ukraine first, and then probably whichever other country they may find themselves, they can bring them from there to Ghana. They expressed optimism in the efforts government has put in place already. Okay. They said they were thankful to the state because even among themselves and other African countries, students that were there, they realized that the officials from Ghana put in a bit more action to get them out rather than, you know, the other African countries. So they were happy that they were out of Ukraine, safety first, then from Ukraine, they went through Qatar and are back in Ghana.
I'll get back to you to tell us about what the Foreign Affairs Ministry officials have been telling you. But let's get on the phone and speak to my other colleague, Judith Awatri-Tando. She has been monitoring a meeting involving the Minister for Foreign Affairs herself and parents and guardians of some of the students who are currently trapped in Ukraine. Judith, thank you for joining us. So the ministry has been speaking about some of the students who are refusing to return home. Clarify for us, exactly why are these students refusing to return?
Well, the minister has not stated why these students are unwilling to return. She only got message that out of 55 students currently in Prague, only 4 were willing to return to Ghana. And, well, for what she said, some parents say that they believe that most of these students do not want to return because they are unsure of their fate, as in their education, the fate of their education when they return to Ghana. So most of the parents have been expressing concern about what exactly government is going to do for these students when they arrive in Ghana, especially concerning their education, whether they are going to be schooling in Ghana or they'll have to wait for things to calm down in Ukraine before they go back, which they believe will not be happening anytime soon. And so they are calling for a permanent solution for these students.
And you managed to get a word from some of the parents. Do you get the sense that these are parents who finally can breathe easy, knowing that there are advanced steps to get their wards back to safety?
Well, we haven't been able to speak to the parents yet because they're still in the engagement currently. But most of them, yes, I said, have been expressing a lot of concern. Some even are talking about the fact that their wards are telling them that they are stuck at some particular neighboring countries. But the minister also says that about 527 students have successfully migrated to some neighboring countries, and then they are gathering all efforts to ensure that these students are evacuated back to Ghana. And so that's what is currently being said. And most of them, some parents also express concern about medication for students who are in these countries, which the ministry says it cannot handle as of now. And so it's only obligation right now to ensure that these students are evacuated and brought back to Ghana safely.
Thank you, Judith Alchitano. There, she's been monitoring that meeting ongoing between parents of students who are currently stranded in Ukraine and the Foreign Affairs Ministry. I'll return to studio and get more from Martin Isidudate. But let's watch the arrival of 17 Ukrainian students, Ghanaian students in Ukraine who were successfully evacuated to Ghana and what the Foreign Affairs officials have been telling us.
In welcoming the students, Deputy Foreign Affairs Minister Kwabena Amprechum Sapong said Ghana is the first African country to safely evacuate its citizens from Ukraine. He also praised the students' body for mobilizing themselves to safety and helping government to fast-track the process of bringing them home.
We have to thank your leaders who has worked with our officials at the various missions to make it possible for you to get here today. And the government is determined to continue to make sure that your colleagues who are still in transit to be evacuated will eventually be evacuated. Now, there is one important thing that we need to score. Information coming in indicates that Ghana is the first African country to have been able to evacuate some of their compatriots and some of their students. So at least, if not for anything at all, the government of Nana Akufo-Addo has scored a first.
Clearly a sigh of relief for many of these Ghanaians who have arrived home today, the 1st of March 2022 from Ukraine, after 5 to 6 days of bombing in the eastern part of Ukraine. This first batch of 17 arrived earlier this morning. They are hopeful that their colleagues and compatriots and other Ghanaians in Ukraine should also be coming home very soon. The leader of the Ghanaian students who just arrived has asked for calm, especially for the parents and relatives of those who are still back in Ukraine, those who are still, in neighboring countries to Ukraine, asking them to hold their peace and hopefully government would work to bring them home safely.
This is quite unfortunate we have to come home, but I want to first of all thank the Almighty God, also thank the government of Ghana, thank the various ambassadors, thank the ministry, and also reassure parents that their children will be back home. Siblings should be calm, friends should be calm. The government is doing its possible best to make us all come back home. For the meantime, we want to say thank you and we appreciate whatever has been done for us.
There are plans to bring all the Ghanaians stranded outside Ukraine back home, but as it stands now, it is just 17 that we have in Ghana. Hopefully from tomorrow and in the coming days, the others who are also being documented and brought together as a unit would be given the necessary assistance to be brought home. Martin Isidudate, TV3 News, Kotoka International Airport, Accra.
And Martin put that together a short time ago before he got in studio. Martin, before I let you go, what next for these students, especially those who have arrived?
Yes, in interacting with them, a few of them said that they do not know what the future holds, at least for now. They are just going to sit and wait and monitor what's happening in Ukraine. If the coast is clear and the dust settles and they can, then they'll go back to further their studies. Almost all of them told me that they were reading medicine.
Okay.
Some have been there for 4 years, others 5 years. But then this has truncated their education in Ukraine. They are hoping that, with more international pressure mounting on Russia, the tempest will calm down, negotiations will, will progress, and then the war will stop for them to be able to go back to further their education.